Welcome back. So today, we're not just going to give you a summary of Chapter 9. No, we're going to crack this thing wide open and really look at how one single trip to the USS Boston completely changes the game for these kids. How all that childhood wonder starts to morph into the real heavy weight of war.
Absolutely. This chapter is just a masterclass in shifting a character's entire world, and we're going to break down exactly how the author does it, starting, believe it or not, with the very air they breathe.
And boom, it starts right here. The author doesn't just tell you the boys are at the Navy Yard, you're thrown right in. This quote, this isn't just a description, it's total immersion. You can practically taste the air, right? The grit, the industry, that's Boston, 1943. And that right there is our first big idea, the power of atmosphere. See, the Boston Navy Yard in this chapter, it's not just a setting. It's a living, breathing, almost overwhelming force. It literally grabs these boys from their quiet suburban life and plunges them into this world of steel that is about to change them forever. Ugh, it's a full-on sensory assault right from the get-go. Before they even lay eyes on the ship, they hear it. The book talks about this constant clang of steel on steel, the rumble of trucks. This is so far removed from, a quiet little scrap drive. This is the loud, messy, industrial engine of the war machine. And that sensory blitz just keeps on coming. You've got the hiss of steam, the smell of sausage and peppers from a street cart, the trolley rattling by, and then you see it in the distance, the Bunker Hill Monument, just standing there, this silent reminder that this city has always been at the heart of conflict. Every single detail is layered to build up this incredible pressure. Right, and look how the author plays with scale here. When the boys see an aircraft carrier for the first time, it's called a towering, flat-topped giant. That's not just a description. That language immediately tells you where they stand in this world. They are small. The sheer size of these warships is meant to awe you, to intimidate you, and it just shrinks their kid-size perspective down to almost nothing. Yeah, this really breaks down the author's whole toolkit. This isn't just about creating a mood. It's about authenticity. It's about the details. We see women in coveralls, the actual Rosie the Riveters. The boys are given D-ration chocolate, which was the tough, high-energy bar made for soldiers. These aren't just generic descriptions. These are razor-sharp 1943 details that make the whole thing feel so incredibly raw and real. Okay, so all of that incredible atmosphere, it's all there to set up a massive internal shift. And that's our second big point. This is the moment the entire story pivots. What started as a fun day trip to see a big boat is about to become a defining event for our main character, Léo. He's about to cross a line from just watching the war to actually being in it. And this is the exact moment it happens. It's this quiet, totally innocent question from his little brother, standing in the green glow of a radar screen. That's the trigger. All of a sudden, the magic of this warship's technology isn't some abstract concept anymore. It is now directly, personally connected to their father's secret work overseas. The war just came home. And for Léo, that one connection changes absolutely everything. Those glowing screens aren't just cool gadgets now. They are a physical link across the Atlantic Ocean, straight to his dad. He's looking at those ghosts on the screen, and he finally understands. This is the same work, the same magic, that's keeping his dad's pilots safe. And just listen to the words he uses, a sacred trust. He's not just looking at military hardware anymore. He is now plugged into its responsibility. He can feel the immense weight of his father's work, that moral obligation. The distance between his life back home and the front lines, well, it just completely collapsed. So this whole idea of a sacred trust is completely redefined for him right on the spot. Before the tour, it was probably just a generic patriotic phrase you'd hear on the radio. But now it's a personal family duty. It's not about admiring sailors from afar anymore. It's about understanding that he, Léo, now has a role to play in protecting this unbelievable secret. The stakes just went from admiration to honor. Which brings us to the final moments of the chapter, and man, does it function as one heck of a cliffhanger. The tour might be over, but for Léo, the real journey is just getting started. He and the other boys are about to be handed a burden, a secret they're going to have to carry with them long after they leave that shipyard. We've all seen this poster, right? But imagine seeing it bolted to the wall of a brand new warship seconds after a sailor has told you to think real hard before you go flapping your jaw. For these boys, a piece of everyday propaganda becomes a direct, chilling, real-world warning. That phrase is no longer a slogan, it's an order. And the author structures this final scene perfectly, almost like a formal ceremony. You can see it here. It's a 3-step ritual. First, you get that grave warning from the sailor. Then, the formal Scouts honor pledge. And finally, that heavy, shared silence that hangs in the air afterward. What started out as a fun field trip has just become a solemn call to duty. This promise, this is the emotional peak of the whole chapter. These are just kids, and they are taking on the weight of an adult secret that they can't possibly understand fully, but they can feel its gravity. And they're bound to it, not just by what a sailor told them, but by their own code, a Scout's honor. They're not just kids admiring a ship anymore. They've just become its guardians. So we want to leave you with this final thought. Because in this chapter, innocence isn't really lost. It's something else. It's redefined. It's forged into something harder, quieter, and much more complicated. And that's the real question, isn't it? The question that just hangs in the air as the chapter ends. What comes next? What is the price of this new, heavy silence going to be for a boy like Léo, a kid who sees everything, remembers everything, and feels everything so deeply? That's the weight he's carrying as he walks out of that Navy Yard.